All right, welcome back to another AutoTrend System review video. In this video, we're gonna go over 3 different trades that we took on Boeing BA on the 30-minute chart using the signals from the AutoTrend system. So this is what our trades look like. And now I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of these annotations and we're gonna go over each one step by step, and I'm going to explain my thought process behind each one of these trades. So let's go ahead and remove these annotations, and we're going to go ahead and add them one by one together. So let's focus here. What we had here is a signal from the AutoTrend system to go long. As you can see, the bars changed from red to blue. That is our indication, or that is our alert that the AutoTrend system has detected a strong change in trend, telling us that, hey, now it's the time to buy because the prices are steadily moving higher. And this is the point at which that change occurs. So we're gonna zoom in a little bit here so we can really see it. So what we see here, this is our signal bar. This is the bar here. If you follow this vertical line, this is the bar here that created the trend change. That is our signal bar, right? So we have a signal, but we don't have a trade yet. Why is that? Well, that's because for our trade, we need the high of the signal bar to be overtaken by a next bar. So as soon as this bar closes here, as soon as this bar closes, and we have a trend change from the AutoTrend system, we're not doing anything at this point. What we can do is we can place our order to be filled if a future bar, so one of the future bars, if that bar comes and overtakes the high of our signal bar. If that happens, then we will have a trade. As you can see, that happens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars later. In fact, we gapped up from our entry the next day, actually. The next day we gapped up. This is a 30 minutes chart, so each bar is 30 minutes. So the following day we gapped up, but that's not a problem. We can still keep our order here, and if price comes back lower, it will fill our order and we will be long, exactly as it happened here. So our order would have waited there for a couple of hours and then we would be triggered long. So this would be our entry here, and our stop loss needs to go just below a prior swing low before our signal bar. So this was a prior swing low here, so our stop needs to go just below the lows of this swing low here. So let's go ahead and annotate this. So we have our trend change here, right? So the ATS, we have a ATS long signal. Can change that, so we can make this white and the text black so we can really see it. So we have an ATS long signal, and then here, right here, we get our entry. Right here we get our entry. That is our entry long. So for this example, we assume that we're buying 1,000 shares, right? And we want to scale out of these shares in 3 parts. So as we're starting to hit the dynamic profit levels, these dotted lines here, this one, as we're starting to hit those, we will scale out of our position. We will take profits in 3 parts. Okay, the dynamic profit levels are part of the AutoTrend system, so we use them together. We use the AutoTrend system to enter trades, and then we use the dynamic profit levels to exit trades in profit. Okay, so let's follow this trade as it continues. So at that point we're long 1,000 shares. Our initial stop loss is just under these lows here, these prior swing lows. And then we're keeping our trade open, waiting for price to hit the first dynamic profit level, which it does right here. You can see right here. At that point, so right around here. So at that point, we can scale out of our first position. So in other words, we're selling a third of our 1,000 shares. That's 333 shares. And that would be a profit of $2,227, right? So that's our first profit target. When that happens, when we take profit, when we take our first profit, we can then raise the stop loss to break even. At that point, we are eliminating the risk from our trade. So our original risk was down here, but since now we have new information, since the price has moved and we have taken our first profit target, it is safe to move the stop loss higher at that point, eliminating the risk from our trade, making it a free trade at that point. All that can happen at that point is we cannot lose money. We have captured 1/3, $2,227, and we're waiting to capture more profit as price goes higher and hits more dynamic profit levels. That's scenario one. Scenario two is price just comes back down and hits our break-even stop. At that point, we will have captured 1/3 of our position. As you can see here, price moves higher, makes its way higher, and hits the second profit target right here. So that's plus $12.79 a share. Remember, we want to sell 1/3 or the second third of our position, our 1,000 share position. So we're selling here another 333 shares. 333 times $12.79 a share. That's a second profit of $4,242. So at that point, we have captured, so far in this trade, we have captured a total profit of $6,469. Our stop loss remains at break even. So I think you can see it. Price at that point did not move higher. It reversed from the dynamic profit level, and that's why we use them, because these levels are very strong. They can be used as support and resistance, and we expect price, once price hits them, we expect it to have difficulty passing through. And that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly why we took profits here. So what happened next is the trade moved lower, it hit our break-even stop loss, and at that point we were out of this position. That was a total profit of $6,469 or 666 shares in total that we sold in profit. The rest, the last third of our trade was stopped for a break-even stop loss. So that's basically it for the first trade. We can go ahead and mark it. So we had our first profit target that was reached, and then we had our second profit target that was reached. Unfortunately, the third profit target was not reached, and we hit the break-even stop loss. Okay, so that's this trade done. Then, as you can see, we get a second signal from the ATS, this time to go short. You can see here, this is the signal bar. This is the bar that created the trend change. We don't have a trade yet, right? Remember, we need to see price coming below the lows of this bar here and breaking it. That would be our entry short. Now, in this trade, I do not have a prior swing low nearby to place my stop loss. So it is questionable whether I would have taken this trade or not. Probably I wouldn't have taken this trade simply because I don't have a clear swing high to place my stop loss above, right, for a short trade. But for the sake of this example, we will assume that we would have taken this trade anyway, and we would have placed our stop loss just above the bar, above the highs of the bar that created this trend change, right? So our entry would have looked like this. So we're entering here, we're placing our stop loss here, just at the highs of the signal bar, expecting price to move lower, right? for this trade, we will assume that we're risking $3,000. Okay, so we're risking basically a little less than half of what we made from our previously profitable trade here, right? So we're risking $3,000 here. Now, according to the rules of the strategy, we will exit this trade one of two ways. If we exit for a loss, it will happen one of two ways. We will either take a full stop loss, or if there is a trend change from the AutoTrend system before we hit the full stop loss here. So for example, as you can see here, we had a trend change to the upside. This bar here turned blue. That is the AutoTrend system telling us to go long at this point. So we have an opposite signal from the trade that we're in, right? So if that happens, at this point, we will simply exit our position when the bar closes, right? So this bar, actually, I cannot really see it because I keep hovering. Maybe if I lock this. I hope you can see it. So this bar here, the signal bar right here, this is the bar responsible for the trend change, right? So at the close of this bar, we know that there is a new trend change from the AutoTrend system. We have a new signal to go long. Since we are already short in this position, we need to exit our position, we need to exit our trade for a small loss. Our original stop loss was up here, but we get an early exit signal right here at the close of the signal bar. So originally, we were risking $3,000 in this trade. But since the AutoTrend system gave us an early warning, an early exit signal, we end up taking about half of that loss, or a little less than half. But for argument's sake, keeping things simple, let's assume that we're taking a half stop loss here. So originally we were risking $3,000. Instead, we end up taking a $1,500 loss on this trade. And that's another really nice feature of the AutoTrend system. Very often what will happen is you will enter a trade placing your stop loss at the correct location, but often what will happen is you will end up taking a much smaller loss if the trade doesn't work, because the AutoTrend system will get you out of the trade sooner than your protective stop loss. And that's another feature I really like about the AutoTrend system and what makes it really, really powerful. So, okay, following up on this trade, we had a short signal here. The AutoTrend system gave us a short signal right here. We had an entry right here, right? Entry short. We went short. That trade didn't work out, and we ended up losing $1,500, which was half of our original stop loss. Now, since we are having a new buy signal, you see, this now here is a new buy signal, a new long signal. At that point, we can keep following the strategy and we can enter short. We can enter long at the close of the signal bar, or rather when the high of the signal bar is overtaken by the next bar, right? This was the signal bar here, and this is the bar that overtakes it, right? So we gapped up at that point. We gapped up higher than our signal, but that's okay. As soon as this bar opens, we know that we have gapped up above our confirmation. So we are above the confirmation of the signal bar. At that point, as soon as it opens, we can go long at that point. So our entry price at this trade, for this trade, would be here at the open of this bar. And the stop loss, again, needs to go below a prior swing low. This was the last prior swing low. You see price came down, put in a new swing low, and then moved higher. So that is our first, our initial stop loss. Obviously, it will change throughout the trade. We will move it to break even. So our first target, again, as always, is the immediate next dynamic profit level. So our entry is here. Let's go ahead and mark it. This is our entry right? And it hits the first dynamic profit level right here. So that is, again, we want to sell the trade in thirds. So first profit target, second profit target, third profit target, right? So we're selling it in thirds. Again, we're assuming that we're buying 1,000 shares for this trade, just like we did with the previous one. So we're buying 1,000 shares here. We hit our first profit target. At that point, we can sell 333 shares. This is a total profit of $6.95 a share, right? $6.95 a share times 333. That is a total profit at this point of $2,314 for our first partial profit. As soon as that happens, again, we need to raise our stop loss from down here to break even, making our trade risk-free. We have eliminated the risk on that trade, and all that can happen at that point is we can keep hitting profit targets, or price will reverse, hit our break-even stop loss, and we will have gotten paid only on the first partial profit. So that's the only two things that can happen at that point. So we're safe, stress-free, and we can just let the trade play out, which it does very, very nicely. We end up hitting our second profit target right here. Let me just go ahead and mark this so we just keep it nice and tidy. So first profit target reached here, and we get our second profit target here. Right, so the second profit target is a total profit of $13.25 a share. So 13.25 times 333 shares, that's the second third of our position. That is a total profit of $4,412 for our second profit target. And as you can see, price comes back up, continues higher rather, and hits our third profit target right here. That's the third profit target. That is a total gain of 19.57 for our last third. So 19.57 times 333 shares. That is a final profit of $6,516. So we have exited our full position at that point. We've sold all three thirds of our position, and that trade at that point is over. Price can continue going higher. We don't care at that point because we have sold all of our position. So with all three of our trades complete, we have our final result, right? For the first trade here, we sold two profit targets. The last third was stopped break even, and we made a total profit of $6,469. Then we had a losing short trade here. Our original risk on that one was $3,000. Instead, we ended up getting an early signal to exit from the ATS, which resulted in a loss of $1,500 loss there, so half of our original stop loss. And then we had our third trade here, which ended up hitting all three profit targets for a total profit of $13,242. Altogether, calculating also the losing trade, is a total profit for all of these trades, for all three trades, of $18,211 only using the AutoTrend System's buy and sell signals and the dynamic profit levels to take profits. So for this video, I wanted to do a more complete trade review of what it actually looks like when you trade with the AutoTrend system and you take all signals and you follow the rules very, very systematically without deviating from them or without trying to do, random things, right? All of these rules that I kind of quickly went over in this video, they're all explained in the strategy videos that come with the AutoTrend system. So you never end up guessing what to do, right? There is a rule for all possible scenarios. So it's literally very, very systematic. If this happens, then we do that. And we have scenarios for every possible situation that can happen with the price action and the AutoTrend system. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I like making these trade reviews videos. So I think I'm gonna keep making these and uploading them here on YouTube periodically. I'm gonna try to do a few a week. Obviously, you can find more trade examples on my Twitter page. So that's twitter.com/systemlevels. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.